Well, the devil is in the details, and the details are many. What's up, everybody? Thank you for watching another episode of the Quisha King Show. Joy Reid and Mom, founder of one of the founders of Moms for Liberty, got into a discussion about the books and everything, and I'm really glad that they had this conversation. Let's take a look.
That you have and other Moms for Liberty advocates have to decide that a book, an award-winning book like All Boys Aren't Blue, isn't appropriate for students to read. What is your expertise?
What a tragic story of a young man who's raped by his adult family member. So you have Joy, you said you'd let me answer, so I'm going to answer
Please
for you. In what context is a strap-on dildo acceptable for public school? Tell me what the context around the strap-on dildo or the rape of a minor child by a teacher.
Hold on a second.
No, wait, we're talking about public school.
One moment.
You know, you hear that and you wonder, how could someone like Joy Reid rush over and not be, have zero emotion, zero reaction to a young boy that was essayed and talking about, inappropriate things, the to children, having these books on the shelves. She just brushes right over that and say, well, what gives you the right to say that?
You're presenting yourself as somebody expert. What I'm saying to you is that as you are not an expert, this book is a full context story, as you said, of the author's experience. Why is it your right or a Moms for Liberty activist's right to say that a parent who wants their child to have access to this book, which gives a personal experience of this author?
So again, we're talking about incest, rape, and pedophilia.
And each parent, each parent has to decide what is appropriate for their child to read. So,
do you actually think that you can reason with the devil? Do you think that the devil, Satan, Lucifer, the great dragon, the enemy, would consider a reasonable argument? I submit to you, you can never reason with the devil. There will be no appeal to someone who is being used by the devil, to their consciousness. There's no appeal to their morality. There is no appeal to reason because the person is gone. They have been taken over by something else.
Right. What is your right to tell a parent who wants their child, who might feel seen by this story? Why don't they have the right?
So I think this is the moment that Tiffany realizes that this woman is really insane. She literally belongs in an insane asylum because you couldn't have possibly said what you just said.
Why don't they have the right as a parent to say, my child can have access to this book?
If a child feels seen by this story, that means that they have been the victim of a predator.
That is what?
You just said that
What's
if a child feels seen by this story.
Let me show you a form. This is a form that can be obtained in Broward County, Florida. Okay. This is called the opt. Yeah, please, I'm going to hand it to you.
So much.
It's called the opt-out form.
Okay.
An opt-out form would allow any parent to opt out of their child being able to take books out of the library without their parents' permission.
First of all, I think what you're talking about here is a wonderful step in the right direction.
Well, first of all, we do have obscenity laws. We do. There are in movies, which Tiffany tried to mention, but was brushed over in movies. And, kids can't go to adult stores. Kids can't go to all these different places. And we know that as parents. I'm not even going to get into that part. What I want to bring to you all is, why would Joy brush over something like this? There's a reason why, because she is more committed to the agenda of confusing the children and getting them to adopt this indoctrination, this brainwashing, to adopt this agenda than she cares about the stuff that they are actually learning. Because you cannot possibly hear something like that, hear a child be mistreated, abused, and things like that, and just brush it off and say, well, why can't a parent show that to their children if they want to? Well, I mean, certainly Joy seems to think that not all parents are good parents, because she doesn't think Tiffany or anybody associated with Moms for Liberty are good parents. So then why should we assume that if a parent wants to show their children inappropriate materials, why would we as a society say that that is okay? Why would we do that? You have to have be committed to something higher than your care is for the child. You care more about your agenda, your party, all of that than you do about these children that you claim you care about, because there is just no way possible. And when I say the devil is in the details, I mean that Joy Reid is literally being used by the devil, because you cannot possibly say that it is good and it is okay for a parent to show children or have their children be watching pornographic material, and we should just let that ride as a society. There has to be a standard. There have to be. Now you can say, well, it's public school, and basically, I guess, since it's a public school, then anything should go. I mean, that's what we're essentially saying when she's saying, well, just let the parents decide. Here's an opt-in form. We're just going to give the parents the opt-in form to allow for their children. Think about how crazy that is, to have an opt-in form for a child to read a book on and sex. And that's where we are. I mean, that is not even even with Tiffany saying, well, okay, well, this is a good start. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not a good start, to say, well, we're going to have an opt-in form for parents to decide if they want their children to see dildo. I mean, let's just keep it all the way established, shall we? Like, if that's the best we can do, is giving an opt-in form for these books to be on the shelves, we've got problems. And the reason why that this is even a thing, and this is perceived to be an acceptable solution to children being exposed to this material, is because the public school system itself was set up for your children to adopt these things, for you as a parent to adopt this. Think about what you are saying to yourself to accept a solution of an opt-in form as a viable one for kids to be having access to porn. An opt-in form, a piece of paper that says, we'll let the kids watch it if they want. Think about that. The schools, they were designed, their very inception, mass compulsory schooling, the inception of it was to have confusion, not to get you to think, because you're not a thinking person if you think that an opt-in form or a parental right, a viable solution, and it being a parental right to show children pornographic materials is good. I will continue to commit what I believe is the calling that God has put on my life, to expose parents to these types of things and to let you know how you can keep your kids from these things, even if your child is in the public schooling system and you cannot get them out yet. Obviously, we know the goal is to get them out, because if the solution is an opt-in form, you're setting your children up for failure. That's just the truth. We have to tell the truth about these things. I am having another masterclass January 25th, which is tomorrow. See the link in the description box below. Go ahead and register for that if you would like to attend. It is free. Please register for that so you can learn how you can shield your children, protect them while they're in the classroom from things like this. I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.